Welcome to the Personal Perseverance Project. My name is David Atkins, retired New York State Trooper, $1 million direct sales international business earner, author, and keynote motivational speaker, where each week I come here to help you break through your excuses so you can live a life up to your fullest potential. Let the project begin.
That is my mindset. I operate on a level of excellence, and you guys need to wake up every single day, and you need to operate on a level of excellence and create your masterpiece.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another edition of the Personal Perseverance Project. And I think this episode this week is a good reminder for everyone, no matter what your goals are, no matter what you're trying to achieve in life, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, because I think living in the society that we live in today, that we have information at our fingertips immediately. We can go to our phone and Google something and have an answer in the eighth of a second. We could use artificial intelligence now with AI and ChatGPT to get information and get help with things. I mean, everything is instantaneous. But the truth is, when it comes to success in life, when it comes to hitting your goals, and it's different for anybody, but when it comes to achieving our goals and the journey that it takes to get there, the role of patience is so important when it comes to long-term success. Having patience is something that I think we have gotten away from as a society because we expect everything to happen right now. And everything that I have achieved, everything that I have accomplished, it has taken me 10 times longer than I could have ever imagined. I have faced 1,000 more obstacles than I could have ever imagined. It was so much harder than I could ever imagine. And so often I would just think, it should happen that much quicker. Like right off the bat, I think about when I wrote my first book, The Leveled Up Life. And even right now, as I'm writing my second book, The One Decision Away Philosophy, my first book, I thought I would have it written and done in about 2 months. I remember I started in September. Excuse me. Maybe I'll edit that out. I had to sneeze in the middle of the podcast. My goodness. I remember starting in September, and I said, I'll be done by Thanksgiving. I'll be done in 8 weeks. And there I was, fast forward the following summer, and my book was finally coming to fruition after all of the writing, the editing, the designing, the back and forth with my editor. It took so much longer than I thought. And often I think we expect overnight success. We expect that if we want to get healthy and fit, that the 20 pounds that we have gained, that may have been something that we've gained over years, we expect for it to come off in a matter of a week. And what happens is, what do people do when they don't get the results as quick as they want? We quit and we give up and we don't keep on going. But practicing patience, understanding we don't live in a microwave mentality, understanding there is no quantum leap to success, understanding that whatever you think it's going to take to achieve your goal when it comes to the time frame, it's probably going to be 10 times longer. And I think something when it comes to patience is something that we have to learn to have. Gary Vaynerchuk always said, he said this slogan, which I loved, and it was macro patience, micro speed. And I love that because that reminds me every day, David, you have to have unbelievable large patience in your life. But micro speed means every single day, you in the smallest things, the small disciplines, the activities that you need to do, you got to be moving at them very fast every single day. And then over time, if you have patience, the little compound effect from all that micro speed every day, you will have massive results. But it requires you to be able to endure the journey and the patience to get there. So I wrote them down with a couple of tips. I have 7 tips here of what I feel helps you get patience in your long-term success. Not get patience, but be able to have patience in your long-term success. So point number 1 is this. You need to set realistic goals and expectations. And I say goals and expectations because the goals that you set need to be realistic, right? You're not going to get a master's degree and do that in 1 month. You're not going to become a doctor and do that in 2 years. Like you have to set goals that are realistic right? Meaning like they should stretch you. They should be stretch goals, meaning it should make you feel uncomfortable, make you feel a sense of urgency in your life. But at the same time, your expectations with that also need to line up with, in fact, what your goals are. And I think too often that we set goals that we set goals in our life that aren't realistic. We expect to lose 100 pounds in a month, or we expect certain things. So you have to have goals that are realistic and the expectation matches them. So that's the first thing that I want to say. Number 2 is this: embrace the process, not the outcome. Oh, I love this. This is why. The person that you become, it's not, we so often look at the goal as the destination, but really it's about the person you had to become to reach that destination, the person you had to come to reach that goal, and to embrace the process and to celebrate the small wins. Because the person you are right now, I will say this, the person you are right now is not going to get you to the goals and dreams you want to reach tomorrow. You will have to go through the growth journey. You will have to go through the process of life of what it takes to get there. And the one thing with life is it's a very level playing field. The world doesn't care. Society doesn't care. Your value that you bring to the world, in exchange, you will be compensated for. And if your value there that you bring is not good enough, you won't be compensated for it, because you have to go through the process. You have to go through the growth journey and understand. If you understand that you're going through the process, you're going through the growth journey, you understand that it takes patience to get there. So that's point number 2, is you need to embrace the process, not just the outcome. Number 3 is this: you need to learn to have delayed gratification. And it kind of starts with my opening point. We can't, and this is the thing, anything worth fighting for is going to take time. Everything worthwhile, as John Maxwell says, is uphill. And if we have instant gratification, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to feel as worth it. When I trained for the New York City Marathon and I ran that, and it took me 4.5 months to train, it made it feel that much better when I finished the marathon, because it took so much hard work. If it's something that you can accomplish in one day that didn't require a journey, the gratification and the level of success that you feel is nowhere going to be the same for those things that require patience, require you to delay gratification, because you need to go through that process, right, of achieving that goal. So we have to learn to delay gratification in our life. We are so caught up in wanting success right now, and it's not realistic. Number 4 is this: in order to have patience, is you have to stay consistent. And you need to stay consistent in good times and bad. And I'll tell you this, more times than not, you're not going to want to do the things that you know you need to do to stay consistent. And that's why, like a side piece that I'm going to give you right here, like a little bit of a bonus, is you have to have a why for why you do what you do. And if your why is just about you, when you hit something that's a lot tougher than you, we often will quit because we don't have a driving force for why we do what you do. So in order to stay consistent, you should have a why, so that drives you to do it on the days you don't feel like doing it. But I'm telling you right now, there's going to be more days than not that you're not going to feel motivated, inspired, and feel like doing the work. It's just part of the process. But if your why is big enough, if your vision is powerful enough, if your patience is there, you will push through the days that you don't want to do it. You will push through the hard days, and there's going to be a lot of them. And in the end of the day, discipline wins the game, right? Discipline wins the game, because people that can find a way to be disciplined, like for me, I'll tell you this, when it comes to getting up early in the morning, when it comes to doing my exercise, when it comes to even filming these podcasts, I don't even attach emotion to it. My discipline is so past emotion at this point. I just do it because it's become part of my routine. It's become a habit. Like last week's podcast talks about the power of routine and developing good habits. For me, it has become such a routine, like brushing my teeth, to do certain things that are non-negotiables. I don't attach emotion to them. Even if I don't want to do it, I get them done no matter what. I stay consistent, because consistency wins the game, because consistency over time leads to massive success. And that is the definition together of having patience. So you have to stay consistent. Point number 5 is this. Oh, I love it. You have to be able to adapt and be open to change. Or I like to say, no excuses, just adjustments. Because what you think should happen, the path that you set out to achieve something, there are going to be forks in the roadway, U-turns, right? There's going to be constantly things that you need to shift and adapt and overcome because it never works out the way that you expect it. It's just the reality of life. You set out to do it this way, and life's going to challenge you. And life, let me tell you, life has a funny way of challenging you when you set out your mind to do something. Like as soon as you set your mind out to do something, life's like, oh yeah, you haven't been tested yet. What are you going to do in this situation? What are you going to do in that situation? Just a month ago, being told that our Beachbody business that has been part of our livelihood for 14 years was being taken away from us and the company was dissolving the coach network. Like that was an eye opener. But immediately we needed to adapt and overcome. Immediately we need to find a solution of what we were going to do. And you have to be open to change. You know, you can't be doing the same things over and over again and expect different results. That's the definition of insanity. So while you're having patience, you have to understand part of that process is being willing to change. Number 6 is this. This is important. I wrote this down. You need to practice self-compassion. You need to give yourself some grace sometimes. You need to not be so hard on yourself. You need to understand that there's going to be days that maybe you don't feel like you're doing that well. Some days you feel like you're failing. Some days you feel like you're absolutely sucking. Why are you wasting your time? But you need to give yourself some grace and you need to stay patient and just stay committed to the journey. Because there are times you're going to question yourself. There's going to be times where you have negative self-talk. You're going to have self-doubt. We all have it. I have it, in my own business, multiple times. But that's not a reason to stop. That's a reason to let you know that you care about what you're doing. And I want you to know that you're not alone in the journey and to give yourself some compassion. And maybe that means that you need to take half a day off. Maybe that means you need to take a full day off. Maybe that means you need to take a day to unplug. Go watch a funny movie or go watch a movie and unwind or go out and just to change up what you're doing because you got to give yourself some grace. I'm all about hustling. I'm all about working hard. I'm all about outworking everybody else. I am all about that. But I'm also all about that you can't grind 24/7, 365 and not have a day off. I used to think that extreme hustle culture, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day was the only way. Guess what? It's not. I'm a big believer in hard work, extremely hard work. I am not a believer in things that should be handed to us by any stretch at all. But you have to give yourself some compassion and recognize the days that it's okay if you're struggling today. So stop being so hard on yourself. And the last point I had written down is to stay inspired by other people's stories. And what I mean by that is who are you surrounding yourself with? Are there people that have accomplished what you're trying to achieve that you're plugging into on YouTube or social media or reading the books that they have so that you, in fact, can stay inspired and understand that if they did it, why not you? If they accomplished it, why not you? If they were able to achieve great things, why not you? Absolutely, you can do it. And you know what? If you are constantly surrounded by people that are bringing you down, by people that are failing all the time, or people are telling you it's impossible, by people telling you why you're wasting your time, you're not going to have the patience to keep going and have the consistency and the discipline because you're going to constantly be consumed by people and things or an environment that says what you're doing is a waste of time and you can't do it. So for me, like as I grow as a motivational speaker, for me, as I grow as a businessman, I am plugging in and listening to other successful speakers and authors and people in direct sales because we have 2 ears and one mouth for a reason. It's to listen more and talk less. So I plug into these people or I read their books because I want to learn. It helps me feel motivated that it's not possible, it's past possible to achieve whatever you want. And when you surround yourself with the right people, as I say, engines in your life, not anchors, people that lift you up, not bring you down, it will propel you forward and push you through the hard times and help you endure and maintain the patience that what it's going to take to get there while you adapt and overcome with the obstacles, while you give yourself some grace, while you set those realistic goals and expectations, all the things I just gave you, when you are surrounded by the right people, it will help you get through all these other points. So guys, again, just to wrap up, this really wasn't that long of an episode because patience is something I just want you to soak it in and think about, that you need to set realistic goals and expectations. You need to embrace the process, not just the outcome. You need to learn to delay gratification. You need to stay consistent. You need to be adaptive and be open to change. You need to practice self-compassion, and you need to stay inspired by other people and surround yourself with the right people. Guys, that is some bullet points, things to share with you so that you can have patience in your life. If you can endure patience, if you can embrace it, if you could stop expecting results days, weeks, months on end. And guys, I'm going to end with this example. I believe that my journey of life prepared me to where I am right now. Let me give you an example. When I grew my Beachbody business, when I had people that would tell me no, or they didn't want to join our team, or didn't want to be part of my monthly accountability and fitness group, if they said no, it often was a not right now, but I'd always be able to say, you know what, I'll touch base with you in a couple of weeks, maybe next month, it will be better for you. So that no would hurt, right? Because I lost out. I have to be patient and wait a couple of weeks. And then the next month, maybe they would come around. And if not, maybe the following month they would. And sometimes they didn't. But I had to learn to have patience on a monthly basis. As a speaker, let me give this example. I can speak at an event, and this has happened to me. And I have people that come up to me after an event and be like, David, your presentation, I'm blown away. I would love for you to speak at our next event with my company, or I want to refer you to somebody I know that books speakers for their event. But here's the thing. We already have our speakers for this year's event. Our event this year is in 3 or 4 months. We already booked our speakers, so we want to consider you for the following year. So now I just have a referral of a potential event, and we could be talking it's over a year later, a year and a half later. Sometime, I just had one last week. They said, David, 1,200 people. It's put on by all the school districts in the area. You would be an unbelievable, perfect speaker for this event. The thing is, we are doing it this year we're doing it next year in 2025, and we do it every other year. So I'm going to put you in for 2027. We're talking over 2 years from now. That, for me as a speaker, that's another level of patience. I'm learning as a speaker that there is no such thing as overnight success. There is no such thing as having, going and you're doing 30, 40, 50, 60 events a year. That doesn't happen. It takes time to incubate for your name to get out there. And a lot of these events are annual events. And so often it requires unbelievable patience. But I was prepared for this in my Beachbody business when I would only have to wait a month to follow up and potentially have people. And I was prepared for this, in my own health and wellness journey by exercising. And no, I don't get healthy and fit overnight. It takes time. Everything worthwhile takes time. Everything worth fighting for takes time. So you need to practice patience. And again, I'll end with this, what Gary Vaynerchuk always says, macro patience, micro speed. Guys, that's my episode for you guys today. Please, if this is of value to you, leave some feedback, pay it forward, because my goal every single day is to help people live up to their fullest potential. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Personal Perseverance Project. My goal every single day is to help people live up to their fullest potential. So please share this episode, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even leave a review. Be sure to connect and follow me on all my social media channels. And if you would like more information about me potentially being a keynote speaker at your event, or maybe you want to work with me one-on-one as your private coach, be sure to go to my website at davidatkinspeaks.com for more information. Thank you.